Hello, fourth graders. I'm doing a different kind of video today, and it's on the iPad, so we're going to see how this works out. We are going to go over factors and multiples today, and we'll do prime numbers and composite numbers later on in the slideshow. But factors are numbers that are multiplied together, such as 2 times 4 equals 8, 2 and 4 are the factors. Multiples are when you skip count by a certain number. Now let's look at the factors of 12 and 24. If I were to list all the factors of 12 and 24, I'd start with 12. 1 times 12 equals 12. 2 times 6 equals 12. And 3 times 4 equals 12. Then let's go to 24. 1 times 24 equals 24. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. And 4 times 6 is 24. Now the greatest common factor, or the GCF, is the largest factor that two numbers share. So let's go back to 12 and 24. What are the largest numbers that they share? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is just circle the numbers that they have in common. So they both have a 1. They both have a 12. They both have a 2. They both have a 6. They both have a 3. And they both have a 4. Then I'm going to go back and look at these numbers and see which one is the largest number. Well, 1 is small, 2 is small, 6 is bigger than 3, and it looks like 12. So I'm going to put a big O square around that. 12 is the largest factor that they share. So when I look at this, I would say that the GCF, or greatest common factor, of 12 and 24 is 12. That's the largest number that they share. Now multiples, this is when you skip count. So usually we like to do the first 10 multiples of a number. So if I were skip counting by 4s, I would do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have my first 10 multiples of 4. Now let's go with 5 and skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So there are my first 10 multiples of 5 and 4. The least common multiple, or the LCM, is the smallest multiple that two numbers share. So in factors, you always look for the largest number. In multiples, you always look for the smallest number. So when you look at multiples, you always look at the smallest number. So let's look at the smallest multiple that two numbers share on 4 and 5. Well, once again, first thing I'm going to do is circle all the ones that they have in common. So if I do that, looks like 20 they have in common, and 40 they have in common. Well, my least common multiple says the smallest number that they share. So between 20 and 40, 20 is the smallest. So I'm going to come back here and write the LCM, least common multiple, of 4 and 5 is 20. That is the smallest multiple that they have in common. Then let's go to prime and composite numbers. Well, a prime number is a number that only has one factor pair, and it's usually 1 times something. So if we look at 2, 2 is only 1 times 2. Nothing else will equal 2, so therefore it only has one factor pair. Then if you look at a composite number, This is a number that has 2 or more factor pairs. So if you look at 4, it is 2 times 2 and 1 times 4. So since it has 2 factor pairs, it's composite. It is not prime. Prime numbers only have 1 factor pair, and it's only 1 times and then their number, because nothing else will equal it. So 1 is the only number that is not prime and not composite. It is neither one of those. So if I ever ask you if 1 is a prime number, I expect you to say no, because it is not prime and it is not composite. So let's work on a factor tree. Factor trees are when you just break apart the number into multiplication facts. So 36 I can break apart into 9 times 4. 9 I could break apart into 3 times 3. And 4 I could break apart into 2 times 2. Can I break down 3 into another multiplication fact besides 1 times 3? No, there's no other multiplication fact that will equal 3 besides 1 times 3. That's considered a prime number. And since it is a prime number and nothing else will equal it, I can circle it. So let's look at 2. Can I break down 2 into something else besides 1 times 2? And the answer is no. It is a prime number. Nothing else will equal it. So I can circle it on my factor tree. When every number is circled and I cannot move on, then I can start writing my prime numbers, multiplying them together, and getting my answer. So, let me erase that dot. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 will equal 36. And let's just try that out. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. So here's your work it out. I want you in your notebook to write the factors of 24 and then write the factors of 36. You are then going to circle all the factors that they have in common. Then I want you to put a square around the greatest common factor, or the GCF. So the number that is the highest factor that they have in common.